So this community pub is in Port Bannatyne, which is on the island of Bute, and we have within the island about 6,000 people, and within Port Bannatyne there's probably about 200 people.
I was part of the original team that got together to form Port Bannatyne Development Trust, and our initial aim was to breathe life back into the village via the Anchor Tavern, which had closed just prior to COVID and was on the market.
We came together during COVID, everything was on Teams, online, and we ended up with, amazingly, a big range of skills, which from such a small community was really no mean feat. We ended up getting our accountant, we ended up getting our communications, PR and marketing expert, our building surveyor, our HR expert, our local person who was born and bred on the island, as well as others who'd rolled their sleeves up to do whatever it was that we needed them to do to make this work.
This pub is special. It's the heart of the port. There isn't another pub here, not for quite a while. So everybody comes here and everybody knows everybody. So you can come in, and even if you're on your own, you're not alone. There's always going to be someone you know or a friend sitting in here.
Well, it's kind of brought the village alive a wee bit, because there wasn't an awful lot here before. In the olden days, when I was a boy, there were 4 pubs here. There was a shop along the road there that made brilliant tablet. Over the past decades, it's just closure after closure after closure. And now we've opened the Anchor Tavern, and it's great.
So one of our regular users of our community hub is Warm Welcome Wednesdays, and they are a group that have been set up every Wednesday by local volunteers to offer homemade soup and a homemade cake to anyone within the community, and that's been a fantastic success.
Well, we needed the Scottish Land Fund money, where basically they paid for the purchase of the pub. Then we had the share offer, which was contributed to the redevelopment of the pub, where we spent £100,000 redeveloping the pub, which was in a sorry state really.
None of us had any experience in what would happen in relation to a share offer, but we were so keen to make sure that this was a success. We got significant support from Community Share Scotland, who were really fantastic and helped us through that journey.
When we started the community share offer, we gave ourselves a 5-week window. We advertised it widely among the communities, and we actually enlisted the help of Scottish newspapers and various other people to get the word out. So we were amazed that we raised altogether about 115,000 from the share offer. Now we have almost 300 shareholder members after all these efforts with share ownership, and so the community has to participate. And one of the things as well we'd like to start doing is, when we have the profits which are accumulating now, we want to spend those back in the community. And so we're going to ask members what would they like to see with that money.
We received fantastic support from Plunkett, and we couldn't have gone live without the input and the support we've had. They provided us with a wealth of documentation that allowed us to make sure that we were following the proper processes for us to make sure we set up this pub on a good footing. We were very, very grateful for all the advice and signposting that they gave us to a wealth of information.
People come in just to keep warm and have a cup of tea or a glass of water. People just come in to have the pub quiz on a Sunday night. People come in to listen to jamming music on Thursday nights. There's so many different things for people who feel comfortable coming in. When you run a community pub, you always have to bear in mind the impact it has on the community, the sustainability of the local business. And so we are very eager, wherever possible, to find tradespeople on the island who can come and do the jobs. They can fix the roof, they can do the windows, they can come and help build a bar. And so we keep the money going around in the local economy, a circular economy. In addition, we look very much at sustainability and the materials we use in the bathrooms, the materials we use for plates, but also we're now installing solar panels on the roof to reduce our energy costs. The other thing is, other businesses benefit, the takeaways are benefiting, the taxi firms are benefiting, and other tradespeople are benefiting who we give the work to. All this investment has gone back into the community. The other thing I've enjoyed is seeing people volunteer to become musicians who've perhaps not played for ages. And they say, can I come and play on Thursday nights? And sometimes we get 10 musicians on a Thursday night, and it's just a wonderful camaraderie between musicians.
Next to the pub, we have a building which had been derelict for about 35 years. And the community decided that we would extend our purchase of the pub into this community hub. So we bought the building and we've actually turned that into a beautiful building, and it's our community hub. We also have a shop front on the end of that, which is currently being done up and is going to be a local bakery for two local women who have been baking in their kitchen, and they're now going to be bringing that to Port Bannatyne, and we're very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, one of the things about the community pub is that it's been recognised across the island, and in recent weeks a group has been set up to look at the entire development of the Island of Bute and who can contribute to various things, such as we have got the big pavilion being completed, we've got the problem with the winter gardens, and we're all getting together with our knowledge and skills to say, who do we know, who can help? And it's bringing all this knowledge together for the whole community. Now we've got the pub up and running and the hub up and running and the bakery up and running. We then plan a strategic meeting where we say, what shall we invest in next? And that way we will draw on comments from the membership about what they would like to see next. And so we'll have to start thinking, okay, how else can we increase the vibrancy of the Port Bannatyne community?